When pain knocks on your door, it doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal who you are. Most people run from pain, but the truth is, pain is the greatest teacher life ever gives you. It's not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. Every scar, every tear, every sleepless night is molding you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than you were before. When life tests you, it's not asking if you're weak. It's asking if you're willing to fight for what you believe in. Kobe Bryant once said, everything negative, pressure, challenges, is all an opportunity to rise. That's the mindset of a warrior. When pain tries to break you, you don't crumble. You rise. You turn your suffering into strength, your heartbreak into hunger, your losses into lessons. There will be moments when you feel like you can't go on, when everything inside you screams to give up. But remember this, every great soul has walked through fire. The difference is they didn't let the fire burn them. They let it build them. Pain is temporary, but the strength you build from it is eternal. So when pain tries to break you, don't retreat. Stand taller. Look it in the eye. Because you were never meant to be broken, you were meant to be unshakable. Pain is not punishment. It's preparation, because the moments that hurt you the most are often the ones that shape you the deepest. When pain enters your life, it's easy to believe that something is being taken away from you, but in reality, something is being built within you. Pain strips away your comfort, your illusions, your limits, and reveals the strength that was hiding underneath. It refines your soul the way fire refines gold. Every hardship you face is a training ground for the person you are meant to become. Life uses pain to toughen your spirit, to sharpen your focus, and to awaken your potential. Most people look at pain as something to escape from, but those who rise understand it differently. They lean into it, they listen to it, they learn from it. Pain becomes the mirror that shows them who they truly are. It's through struggle that courage is born, through heartbreak that compassion grows, and through failure that resilience is forged. Pain doesn't arrive to destroy. It arrives to prepare you for something bigger, something higher. It teaches patience when things fall apart and faith when nothing makes sense. You start realizing that every setback has meaning, every delay has purpose, and every wound holds wisdom. Pain trains your heart to endure, your mind to focus, and your soul to trust. It's not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you're still fighting, still alive, still evolving. When you stop running from pain and start embracing it, you begin to transform. You start to see that the things that once broke you were actually the same things that built you. Pain gives you strength that comfort never could, wisdom that peace never taught, and humility that victory never offered. It is the silent force that shapes greatness from within. Every struggle carries a hidden lesson for growth, because nothing in life happens without meaning. The difficult seasons, the disappointments, the heartbreaks, they all carry messages that can only be understood once you stop resisting and start reflecting. Struggle is the language life uses to teach strength, to develop patience, and to test how badly you want what you say you want. When everything feels heavy and nothing seems to go right, it's not the universe punishing you, it's preparing you. Growth doesn't come from the easy days. It comes from the days that challenge your spirit and stretch your limits. Every obstacle is a lesson disguised as pain, and every failure hides wisdom waiting to be discovered. You may not understand it while you're in it, but one day you'll look back and realize that what once felt like breaking was actually building. Struggle teaches you to appreciate what you once took for granted. It forces you to slow down, to pay attention, to dig deeper within yourself. It shows you your weaknesses so you can turn them into strengths. It reminds you that progress is rarely visible while it's happening, but every small step forward counts. The truth is, growth hurts because you're outgrowing versions of yourself that no longer serve your purpose. The things that used to comfort you begin to feel too small, and life pushes you beyond them. Struggle becomes your teacher, revealing your endurance, shaping your mindset, and reminding you that your potential is far greater than your circumstances. When you learn to see struggle as a lesson rather than a curse, everything changes. You stop asking, why me, and start asking, what is this teaching me? That single shift turns pain to power. You begin to notice that the people who have achieved the most peace are the ones who have walked through the most chaos. Struggle humbles you, but it also empowers you. It strips away ego, pride, and illusion until all that's left is truth. It gives you perspective that even in loss, there is learning. Even in failure, there is direction. Nothing is wasted when you decide to grow from it. The pain, the confusion, the disappointment, all of it becomes the soil where strength takes root. Every struggle refines your purpose, clarifies your priorities, and reveals the depth of your spirit. Growth doesn't come with comfort. It comes through pressure, patience, and persistence. When you stop resisting the lessons inside the struggle, you begin to evolve into the person you were meant to. The strength is built in silence, not in comfort, because it's in the quiet moments when no one is watching that your true character is forged. The world celebrates the victories, the highlights, the applause, but real strength is born long before any of that. It's born in the unseen hours when you're tired but still pushing, when you were uncertain but still moving, when you're alone but still believing. Silence is the training ground of the soul. It's where you meet yourself, where you face your doubts, and where you learn that your worth doesn't depend on recognition. In the stillness, you learn discipline, patience, and focus. You learn how to keep your spirit steady even when your emotions are unstable. Comfort, on the other hand, makes you soft. It lulls you into routines that don't challenge you, keeps you safe from failure, but also distant from growth. Strength demands discomfort. It demands moments of struggle that force you to dig deeper than you ever thought you could. When you're in silence, it's easy to feel unseen or forgotten, but those are the moments that matter most. The silence is not absence, it's construction. It's where your mind sharpens and your purpose matures. Every rep in the gym, every late night spent improving, every failure that no one else knows about, those are the ingredients of real strength. The loud world may not reward silence, but life always does. The strongest people are not the ones who shout about their pain, but the ones who transform it quietly into power. When you work in silence, you detach from validation and connect with your purpose. You stop performing for approval and start acting from conviction. You become grounded, unshaken, focused on the mission rather than the noise. Strength built in silence is different because it's pure. It's not for show. It's for survival. It's the kind of strength that carries you through rejection, loneliness, and uncertainty. It's the strength that doesn't break when life tests you because it was forged in private battles no one ever saw. You start realizing that silence is not weakness. It's sacred. It's where the universe prepares you for the moments when everything will depend on the foundation you've built. When others rest in comfort, you are growing in quiet. When others stop because no one is cheering, you keep going because your reason comes from within. Comfort teaches ease. Silence teaches endurance. And endurance is what separates the temporary from the timeless. Strength born from silence gives you an unshakable calm. It teaches you to respond, not react. It helps you trust the process, even when the results are hidden. Quiet becomes your classroom, and every delay, every failure, every lonely night becomes a lesson in patience and resilience. The world might not see your progress yet, but you feel it in your focus, in your confidence, in your peace. Real strength is invisible at first. It lives inside long before it ever shows outside. And when it finally does, it's unbreakable because it wasn't built in comfort. It was built in silence. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. It's the fire that burns away weakness, the mirror that shows you what still needs to be built. Most people run from pain. They see it as something to avoid, but those who grow beyond limits understand something deeper. Pain is the process of transformation. When life hits hard, it's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to shape you. Every heartbreak, every failure, every sleepless night is molding you into a version of yourself that can handle more, endure more, and become more. Pain introduces you to the real you, not the one who performs for the world, but the one who survives when the world turns its back. It strips away your ego and exposes your spirit. It's brutal, but it's honest. When pain tries to break you, that's when your inner voice becomes the loudest. It's in those moments that you realize no one can save you but yourself. The comfort you once relied on disappears, and the only thing left is your will. That's when you have a choice to stay broken or to start rebuilding. You start from nothing, piece by piece, with trembling hands and a burning heart. That rebuilding process is where strength is born. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you and you begin rescuing yourself. Pain teaches self-reliance, and in that self-reliance, you find freedom. You learn that you don't need everything to be okay to move forward. You just need to keep going, even if it hurts. That's how warriors are made, not by comfort, but by endurance. Every time you face pain and rise from it, you become less afraid of it. You start to understand that pain doesn't last forever, but what it builds does. You begin to welcome the challenge, not because it feels good, but because you've seen what it can make you become. It's like steel being forged in fire. It can't stay soft if it wants to be strong. You can't grow if you refuse to be uncomfortable. Pain forces you to expand beyond your limits. It tears apart your excuses and replaces them with resilience. It demands your full attention, your full effort, your full heart. And when you give it that, it rewards you with transformation. There's a sacred moment that happens in pain when you stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. That shift changes everything. You stop being a victim and become a creator of your own story. You use the pain as energy, as fuel, as motivation. You channel it into your craft, your vision, your purpose. You stop running from the fire and start walking through it because you realize the only way out is through. Pain becomes your ally, your mentor, your reminder that you're still alive, still capable, still becoming. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to awaken you to your potential. When you look at the people who've achieved greatness, not fame, but true greatness, you'll find one thing in common. They suffered. They faced rejection, doubt, loss, and fear, but they refused to stay broken. They didn't wait for the pain to end. They worked through it. They kept showing up when it hurt, kept believing when it made no sense, kept fighting when everything around them screamed quit. That's what separates those who rise from those who remain shattered. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's the decision to turn pain into power. Pain refines you. It teaches humility, empathy, and gratitude. It teaches you to value peace because you've known chaos. It teaches you to be kind because you've known suffering. Every scar becomes a story of survival. Every wound a reminder of growth. Pain doesn't define you, but how you respond to it does. You can let it make you bitter, or you can let it make you better. The difference lies in your perspective. If you choose to see pain as purpose, it transforms from punishment into preparation. Every time you fall and get back up, you're proving that pain can't win because your spirit won't let it. So when pain tries to break you, let it build you stronger. Let it teach you who you are, what you're made of, and what you truly want from life. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Let it do its work inside you, because the version of you that comes out on the other side will be unrecognizable, not weaker, not wounded, but wiser, harder, and ready for anything life throws your way. Faith is not believing only when everything is clear. Faith is believing when everything hurts, when nothing makes sense, and when the darkness feels endless. It's easy to trust the process when life is smooth, but true faith begins when comfort ends. When the pain is loud and the path is hidden, faith whispers, keep going. It's that quiet strength that keeps your heart beating through storms. That silent fire that refuses to go out even when the wind is against you. Faith doesn't eliminate pain. It gives you purpose inside the pain. It's the unseen hand that steadies you when everything around you shakes. It's the courage to move forward without knowing where the road leads. Trusting that every step, no matter how uncertain, is leading you somewhere necessary. When life tries to break you, faith becomes the anchor. You may feel lost, but faith reminds you that loss is not the end. It's the beginning of discovery. The journey through pain is sacred because it strips you of everything temporary and forces you to hold on to what's eternal. Faith teaches patience, the kind that doesn't rush healing, but respects the process of becoming. It teaches surrender, not as defeat, but as trust. A deep knowing that what's meant for you won't pass you by. When you hold on to faith, you begin to see meaning in the mess. You start realizing that pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every tear waters the soil of your future strength. Every struggle shapes your character. Every delay redirects your purpose. Faith turns chaos into clarity, but only if you stay present long enough to see it unfold. It's like walking through fog. You can't see the full path, but as you take one step, the next appears. That's how faith works. It doesn't show you the whole picture. It just asks you to trust the next move. And in that trust, you find freedom from fear. You stop trying to control everything and start allowing life to teach you what it's meant to teach. You begin to accept that the obstacles aren't in your way, they are your way. Pain becomes part of the process of awakening, the moment where you stop living for comfort and start living with conviction. Faith also means believing in yourself even when no one else does. It's the internal voice that tells you you still can when everything else says you can't. It's knowing that the same power that created the mountains and oceans also lives within you. You are not just surviving the pain, you are being shaped by it. You are being built for something greater. Every test of faith is an invitation to rise higher, to evolve, to shed the old version of yourself that could not carry the weight of your destiny. The struggle you face today is the training ground for your tomorrow. Every moment of doubt, every failure, every loss, they are not random, they are sculpting your spirit. Sometimes faith will ask you to walk alone. People will not understand your vision, your process, your resilience. They'll question why you keep fighting, why you keep believing, but that's because they can't hear the call that you hear. Faith is personal. It's between you and your purpose. The world might call it madness, but faith sees what they can't. It sees potential where others see impossibility. It feels strength where others see weakness. It builds when others give up. That's why faith is powerful. It doesn't need proof to act. It acts and creates proof later. In your darkest nights, when pain becomes unbearable and hope feels distant, faith becomes the smallest yet strongest light inside you. It's that whisper that says, hold on a little longer. It's the belief that this storm has meaning, that even broken pieces can form a masterpiece. Pain might shake your body, but faith protects your spirit. It reminds you that no experience is wasted if you learn from it. It tells you that sometimes the waiting season is not punishment, but preparation for something far greater than you imagined. Faith isn't about ignoring pain. It's about walking through it with purpose. It's about trusting that every setback is a setup for a comeback. It's about holding on when everything inside you wants to let go. It's about believing that light exists even when all you see is darkness. Because the truth is, you were never meant to be destroyed by pain. You were meant to be defined by how you rise from it. Every scar, every wound, every tear carries the story of faith that refused to give up. When you choose faith over fear, you shift your energy from survival to creation. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That mindset transforms everything. Pain becomes a path. Fear becomes fuel. Doubt becomes direction. You start moving differently, thinking differently, becoming different. Faith doesn't just help you endure. It helps you evolve. It transforms the pain that tried to break you into the power that builds you. And through it all, you realize that the most powerful thing you can ever do is keep believing, even when it hurts, even when it's silent, even when you can't see the end. Because faith has already seen Ethiopia is the quiet flame that refuses to die, even in the darkest corners of life. It's not loud or dramatic. It doesn't need attention, yet it's the very thing that keeps the human spirit alive. Hope is what whispers maybe when everything screams never. It's what keeps your heart beating when your world feels like it's collapsing. People often think hope is something you find when life is good, but the truth is, hope is born in the shadows. It grows in your lowest moments, in the silence after heartbreak, in the stillness after loss. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about believing that one day it will be. Hope doesn't erase pain, but it makes pain bearable. It doesn't remove the struggle, but it gives meaning to the struggle. When pain tries to break you, hope becomes your compass. Doesn't show you the whole path, but it points you toward the light. It's that invisible thread that connects your present suffering to a future you can't see yet. Hope gives you the strength to take another step when your legs are trembling. It reminds you that the night may be long, but morning always comes. And sometimes that reminder is enough to keep you moving. When everything feels uncertain, hope is the one thing that tells you not to quit. Not yet. It's the voice that says, you've come too far to only come this far. Hope transforms how you see pain. Instead of viewing it as punishment, you start seeing it as preparation. The challenges you face are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to awaken you. Hope teaches you to trust the process even when it hurts. It teaches you that healing is not linear, that strength is built in layers, that patience is not weakness, but power under control. The people who hold on to hope during suffering are not naive. They are warriors, because it takes courage to believe in better when all you've known is broken. Hope doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing to see possibility despite it. The strongest souls are often the ones who have walked through fire but still choose to see beauty in the ashes. Hope allows you to see that every ending is not destruction but transformation. The seed must crack before it grows. The caterpillar must dissolve before it flies. The heart must break before it expands. Pain may strip away what's comfortable, but it also reveals what's essential. Hope helps you endure that stripping away. It gives you faith that what's lost will be replaced with something stronger, something purer, something meant for your next chapter. Sometimes hope feels fragile, like a candle in a storm, flickering and struggling to stay alive. But even then, it's still burning. Even the smallest spark can guide you through the darkest tunnel. Hope doesn't need to be big. It just needs to be present. One small ounce of belief can outweigh tons of despair. One decision to try again can change everything. The truth is, you don't need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. You just need enough light to see where your foot lands. That's what hope gives you. Hope doesn't work alone. It grows stronger when you take action. Each small step forward, waking up when you don't want to, showing up when it hurts, forgiving when it's hard, feeds the fire of hope. It reminds your soul that you're still in control of your choices, even if you can't control the circumstances. Hope thrives when you move. It fades when you stop. That's why people who keep going, even at their lowest, eventually find peace. Because every action you take in faith strengthens your connection to the future you're hoping for. Hope is not blind optimism. It doesn't deny the storm. It just believes the storm will pass. It's rooted in experience. In all the times you thought you couldn't make it, yet you did. Every time you survived what was meant to break you, you proved that hope was right to believe in you. So when new pain comes, when new struggles arise, remind yourself that this isn't the first storm you faced, and it won't be the last you overcome. Hope becomes your memory of strength, the proof that no matter how hard it gets, you've always found a way through. Hope also connects you to others. When you share your story of survival, you give someone else permission to believe again. Your scars become roadmaps for those still lost. The world needs people who carry hope because hope spreads. It's contagious in the best way. One act of kindness, one word of encouragement, one story of redemption can ignite light in another person's darkness. When you live with hope, you don't just heal yourself. You help heal others. Hope is the bridge between pain and purpose. It's what turns endurance into meaning. It's what helps you see that maybe, just maybe, everything that's happening is not against you, but for you. You start realizing that life doesn't test you to destroy you. It tests you to strengthen your foundation. Every trial builds resilience. Every setback builds wisdom. Every heartbreak builds depth. Hope allows you to see that you are not defined by what you've lost, but by what you've learned. It turns wounds into wisdom and suffering into strength. When you choose hope over despair, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for things to get easier and start deciding to get stronger. You begin to see that the pain that once made you cry now fuels your growth. Hope reminds you that the story isn't over just because it hurts right now. It tells you that your pain has purpose, your struggle has meaning, and your perseverance is not in vain. You are being shaped for something bigger, something that only those who dare to keep hoping can experience. So even when everything inside you says to give up, don't. When your heart feels heavy, when the road feels endless, when your spirit feels tired, hold on to hope. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Hope is not the absence of pain. It's the strength to walk through it. It's not about escaping the fire. It's about becoming the flame that refuses to die.